Congressman Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania. He's a member of the House Ways and Means Committee. And Congressman, good to have you with us. I think it's extraordinary. We did a little math. This president, in the course of dealing with all that has transpired, Hurricane Harvey, a Category 5 and a Category 4 hurricane hitting the country within an unimaginably short period of time. The tragedy, obviously, in Las Vegas, all of the issues he's dealing with, it is just, he's traveled over almost 26,000 miles in just a little, just under 2 months. I mean, this is, it's an amazing performance. I don't know many folks, I don't know of any president who's equaled him in that expenditure of energy and concern and instinctive effort to comfort the nation.
Well, he's a real person. And we've often heard that 90% of life is showing up, because when you show up, people know you care. Who's shown up more than this president at every single turn? When something horrible happened, he's there with you. And I think when people think back on their lives about when people showed up, oh, sure, it's fun to show up when you're celebrating, but when you're grieving, when you're really hurting, those are the people you remember the most. Who showed up for me when I needed it the most? And this president and this first lady have been incredible models of what America really is about. And thank God he's not a standard politician with talking points. He speaks from his heart about things that affect every single American. I find that just so genuine and so refreshing to have somebody that talks that way, not as a polished politician, but as a straight-talking business person who loves this country and has given up so much of his private life to serve.
Yeah, you're right. This is a president who says the hell with political correctness. And if the national left-wing media can't handle that, too bad. If the left can't handle it, the Dems can't handle it, too bad. The American people are, in point of fact, deeply appreciative of a straight-talking, truth-telling chief executive running the country.
He's a true leader. There's no question about it. He is a true leader at every turn. He shows up. He shows up long, and he shows up strong, and he shows up for every single American. He doesn't parse it. He covers the whole gamut of who's out there and who's been affected. No, you got to love this man. You got to love this family for giving up what they've given up to serve.
Yeah, I think that's lost a lot. This is a president who is, he's had to sacrifice an extraordinary level of comfort, a lifestyle that most of us can only dream of, and he's done it for the nation and for the American people. I want to turn to the other effort that seems to be just absolutely hamstrung and tied up, and that is, again, a legislative initiative on the Ways and Means Committee. I know that you and Congressman Chairman Brady and all your committee working hard on this tax cut, tax reform, if you want the Speaker's version of it. I've got to tell you, Congressman, it's not ready. It's just not baked.
No, but it's not. But again, and we've talked about this, we went from a blueprint to a framework, and we're filling it in now. But I will tell you this, there's been nobody more open to the discussion than Chairman Brady. And he keeps telling all our members, come and talk to me. Come and talk to me. We want to hear from the people we're affecting the most. And that is something that I think is really refreshing. From the 7 years I've been here, I've never seen it this open and this much involvement.
And yet we still have so many questions. How are you going to incentivize repatriation of $3-4 trillion, whatever it may be, that's parked by corporate America overseas in bank accounts? How in the world are you going to bring some parity for small business? And why, if this is a middle-class tax cut, and the president promises it is, don't we see the middle class getting the preponderance of the tax cut?
No, but the middle class is low, and I think that
I'm not talking about trickle-down stuff. I'm talking I'm talking about, I mean, I've listened to Gary Cohn. I've listened to Steve Mnuchin, and they'll say, well, we can't guarantee everyone in the middle class gets a tax cut. Why the hell not? If it's a middle class tax cut, then deliver.
Yeah, look, and I understand where you're coming from, and a lot of us feel this way, but they are being cautious on what they say, because too often anything they say gets taken to the floor, and it's like, oh my gosh, you promised this and you didn't do exactly what you said you were going to do.
Congressman, you know you're not going to deny Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi their time on the floor just chewing your guys' cuffs. I mean, it's going to be rough.
Right. Well, it is going to be rough, and I don't think the country's ever seen it more partisan than it is right now.
Right.
But if you're going to rely on Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi to sell tax cuts, I think you're talking to the wrong folks. But what you want to talk about is what are we actually doing
believe me,
to encourage growth?
For a thing.
I'm with you. But you know what? What we're looking for is pro-growth tax reform. We know that by making sure that corporations are where they need to be globally competitive, we put people back to work. We get middle-income people and lower-income people having more take-home pay.
I'm with you. I just want to know that it's a middle-class tax cut, and I want to know what the middle class is going to get out of it, because they've been screwed for 25 years in this country, and you know it, and the president knows it, and that's why he said it's got to be a middle-class tax cut.
And this is a president said very clearly. And I was just with him a week ago across. He said, forget about worrying about the wealthy. They'll take care of themselves. Middle income, lower middle income people. Well, you know what? Listen, nothing's finished yet, but I want to tell you, his concentration, and it will come out of the White House, by the way. You know that. That's what happened when President Reagan was there. His commitment is to middle income and lower income people to make sure that their lives get better. They have to have more take-home pay. But in order to get the more take-home pay, we've got to look at what we're doing globally and make sure that we can compete globally and we have more production that allows them to have higher wages.
Who else I'm not going to worry about? I'm not going to worry about a bunch of U.S. multinationals who in many cases have outright oligopolic power and strength. I'm not going to worry about them. I am going to worry about the middle class, a working man and woman, just like the president does.
Me too.
And I think that as soon as Speaker Ryan and Mitch McConnell come to glory over that issue, we're going to have some tax reform.
We are going to have a genuine tax reform and genuine growth in America.
Congressman, great to have you with us as always.
Thanks, Lou.
Appreciate it.